What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another build video for the CR250. In this video, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to start it and run it or get it done, like completed. I'm not sure what's going to go on here. We'll see what kind of runtime. We're in the last little stages of the build now, so there's just little small things to do, like the louvers. I got to tend to them, see what's going on with them, and bleed the brakes, start getting the plastics on. Not in that particular order, but first of all, we're going to start with the louvers. I'm going to see what I can do with those. So I went ahead and bought a set of OEM louvers because it didn't have any when I got the bike. But the problem is I've heard that they don't fit very well on the Myler's rads, or they don't fit at all. But if I can get a couple pins in, what I'll probably do is I'll just I'll drill a hole in it, and I'll probably put like a cotter pin or some kind of a clip through it or something like that. So I've got these little pins here, so if I can get one of the tabs to come through here and it's not quite gonna fit properly, I can just pull it through, drill a hole, and just put this clip through there. So we'll see how that goes right now. I'll just mock fit it. So I got the louvers fitted in there, and I can see what's happening here is the louvers aren't wide enough for these Myler's rads, so they don't go all the way through the holes here. So what I think I might do is these fit perfectly. So I'd be happy with, 3 out of 4 points being in the rad. So what I might do is just drill into here and then just simply put a screw in with a washer here. And then just, that'll be held on by 3 out of 4 pins there. So I think that'll keep that on the bike, no problem. So I have a ton of these machine screws here from my all the kits that I bought, all the bolt kits. So I'll just use probably a couple of these machine screws and washers. And I've marked where I need to drill through on these louvers. So I'll drill through there with a bit similar size to this machine screw. And then I'll try and just tighten it in. Got the rad louvers in here now, and it's looking pretty good, this little hole I made in the one pin here. So I just went ahead and put one washer here and 2 washers in behind to take up the gap. And so now, as you can see, it's nice and tight in there. It's not going anywhere. Same with this side. Tightened in this side, and everything's tight in there. There's just going to be one loose, which kind of sucks, but I think it'll be okay. 3 out of 4 in there. It'll be nice and strong. So I got the louvers out on the bench again. So what I'm going to do is just sand everything down lightly and then clean it off. And then I'm going to put rock guard on it. Rock guard is probably going to be the best thing I can think of to put on these, because they're probably going to be taking literally rocks and dirt, all the roost that you get on the track. So I think rock guard would be a good fit for these. So this is the bracket that Polisport sends, so you can't put the Polisport kit on without it. So what you'll do is you'll put this piece here on the triple. You put a bolt in right there in the middle, and then you put the plastic, the new Polisport plastic onto here with the new bolts that they supply there. So I got the kill switch wire all tied up there, and I zip tied it in. Got all that cleaned up there. So it looks like this will go perfectly in behind the number plate. And this here, I'm not really sure. I know on the 125 I built, I had to put this in front of the number plate, but if I can hide it in behind the number plate, I will. But I don't know if I want it rubbing up and down on the cables. So I might, if I can, I might just put it out front. But I'll find that out after I put the front fender on, because when you put these Polisport kits on, you have to put the front fender on first, and then you can put the number plate in after. All right, so these have been drying for quite a while now, so I couldn't really put the fender and stuff on because that'll get the fender will sit right here, right in my way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those louvers in, and then after that I can start putting the front plastic on. So I got the louvers on the bike now. It worked out pretty good. This little fix I came up with worked pretty good. Got one here kind of just hanging out, but 3 out of 4 is pretty good. I think it'll stay on there nice. Louvers look pretty good on there. Like I was saying, I think the rock guard is the best thing I could have went with, because these are going to be beaten up pretty good. So now I can go ahead, now that all that's out of the way, I can go ahead and start putting the front plastic on. So I'm super stoked about how this is turning out here. It looks really good. I'm really happy with this little clamp I ordered on Amazon there. I'll link it in the description below where I got it. It lets the line flow through nice and easy. And I was saying about keeping the line nice and tight to the fork and in between the tire. And down here, I got the banjo bolt torqued in. So I was saying with that paint that I use, that flat black paint, like I torqued on this pretty good, and there's almost no tool markings on it. So there's just a couple of things I got to torque down here, but everything else is pretty much good to go. So now that all this is done here, now I can get this fender in and the top number plate, or the front number plate, and this is really going to start looking like a bike again. So I had to go back a little bit and put this brake line on the outside of the front number plate here. Reason being is because when you turn the bars, the brake line was rubbing on the top of the CDI box, and it was pulling on all these wires. So definitely can't have that. So I put it on the front, and I'm pretty sure that's where it's supposed to go. So I'm gonna leave this bolt loose, and I'm gonna pull this hose off of here when I put the graphic on, and then put it back on. Then I'll tighten that bolt in, bleed the brakes, and then I should be good on the front end. So that's the hardest part, is getting all this settled out, and you gotta, you know, take things on and off again and figure out how they're gonna go, how they're gonna rest in nice and comfortable. So now I'll just start working my way back with the plastics and start putting all that on. got this seat ready here. Had this for a very long time, sitting in the plastic case here. So these seats aren't too hard to do. You just really got to take your time. If you don't get something lined up, you just got to take the staples out and do it again. But I'm going to take all the staples out of this old seat cover here, and I'm going to take it over to the parts washer and just clean all this up. So now that I have the old seat cover off, I can have a look at all this foam and make sure everything's in good shape, and this looks really awesome. So that's good. The only thing is this kind of separated from the plastic a little bit. I can take it right off, but that's not a big deal. I can just put some adhesive on there and glue it back on, and then I'll be able to put the brand new seat cover on there. Got everything all cleaned up now. I got the two pieces of the seat here ready to be glued together. So on a lot of these adhesives, this is the 3M, it's heavy duty stuff. It says spray it on and allow time to tack up. But when you're doing something like this, like in my experience, just spray it on and get this straight on there. It'll set up. You don't have to worry about it. It's not going to just screw up and the seat's going to fall off the plastic, or the foam's going to fall off the plastic. You got to allow that time in case, like, because there's little pockets like this. If you don't nail it and get it in there, if it's all tacky, then it might be harder to get that straight in there. So I just spray it straight on and then just get that seat foam right in there. So as you can see, I got the foam on there really good, and so this stuff sets up pretty much right away. Like, you can hold it upside down pretty much right after you put it on. So if you're really worried about it, just take some tape and just wrap it around a few times and just let it sit for a few minutes, half an hour, I guess, something like that. Let it set up. But like, I'm not worried about it. This stuff sets up really well, and I'll be putting a new seat cover over it and stapling everything around it, so it should be good to go. So I've got the seat laid on here right now. It's a moto seat. It's got the red ribbing and the black seat. So the way I always start these is I put it on the front, wrap it around, and then it's just by any means necessary from there. So I try to pull it taut from the back, and then try and pull the sides in all the way back. And if I have to remove some staples after, I will. So don't be afraid if you staple the seat underneath here a little bit and then you have to remove some. It's not a big deal. It's kind of a bit of trial and error to get this seat as perfect as possible. Okay, so the seat is done and wrinkle free, so it looks really, really good. This seat came out just awesome here, so I couldn't be happier with it. So when you're doing this, don't be afraid to use lots of staples, and again, don't be afraid to screw up, because look at there. And when I did look how many staples I had to take out. Just keep picking at it until you've got it where you want it. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. So if you want to see more pictures of this bike, make sure you follow me on Instagram. If you want to see the rest of this build, make sure you subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much. And as always, thank you for watching.